You guys, oh my god, watch this.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's the South Mountain guy, and I'm right here in the Forbidden area. I'm up here with the archaeologist and the ranger, but there's another guy here. I've never seen him before. I've been out here for 2 weeks with these people, and I've never seen this guy. He's in all black sweats, black t-shirt, black hat. Looks like he has an iPad with him. But for some reason, every time I do a video, I'm gonna release these videos, and you're gonna wonder why they cut off. I'm gonna tell you right now, I think that guy is an agent. And I think with that iPad or whatever he has in his hand, he's intercepting my videos, because every time I get into a video and start talking about what's up here, my video cuts off. Now, I have permission by the archaeologists and the rangers, but for some reason, this guy showed up today. And now my phone keeps shutting down right at the peak of my videos. It's your old homie, Mr. Black. Remember, you see me here a second, the South Mountain guy. Go with God. Peace.
Hey. Ah, this is crazy, man.
What is this? Is this the same kind of drone that they're seeing in New Jersey?
Google's new quantum chip is so powerful that it must have borrowed computational power from other universes. At least that's what this article says the founder of Google Quantum AI said. Likely you've already heard about this. If not, let me give you a refresher. So this is Google's latest quantum processor named Willow. And Willow's got some skills. You see, Willow performed a computation in under 5 minutes that would take one of today's fastest supercomputers 10 septillion years. That exceeds the age of the universe. Before we dive into the parallel universe thing, let's talk about why quantum computing is so much faster than standard computing. So let's imagine you're getting ready for the day. You can't make a decision on what you want to wear until you wear all of the options. This shirt with this pants, this shirt with this pants, this shirt with this pants with these shoes, this shirt with this pants with these shoes, and so on and so forth. Standard computing would go one at a time. It would pick a pant and a shirt, and then it would swap out and try all the different shoes. If you have 10 shirts, 10 pants, 10 pairs of shoes, that is 1,000 unique combinations for you to try on. So how does it work with quantum computing? Well, quantum computing is like having a magical wardrobe. You can try on every single possible combination all at one time. And this is because quantum computers use something called a qubit. Standard computer, bits; quantum computer, qubits. A qubit exists in multiple states simultaneously. So by the time you're going up to the mirror to decide on what you want to wear, quantum wardrobe has already explored every single option for you. 5 minutes compared to 10 septillion years. That's a big deal. This is where parallel universes come in. Nevin states it leads credence to the notion that quantum computation occurs in many parallel universes, in line with the idea that we live in a multiverse. First and foremost, I just want to state he did not say that it borrowed computational power from other universes. In my perception, what he was actually stating when he said this is that our ability to do this fits in coherence with the many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics. The many worlds interpretation simply suggests that all possible outcomes of a specific event actually happen in parallel universes. Going back to the wardrobe, there is a universe where every unique outfit was worn by you. Every single potential outcome actually occurred. You pick your outfit, ones that you didn't exist in a superposition state, and each potential outcome actually branches off into its own universe. I'll give you another example. You may have heard of Schrodinger's cat before. It's a thought experiment that came from 1935. Essentially, inside the box, there's a cat, a vial of poison, a radioactive atom, and a device that detects radiation. Radioactive atom has a 50% chance of decaying within the hour. If the device detects radiation, it triggers a device that smashes the vial of poison, which will kill the cat. If the atom does not decay, nothing is triggered, the cat is alive. After 1 hour, the box remains closed. Nobody knows whether the cat is alive or dead. The question is, what is the role of the observer? Does the act of observing force the cat into a state, alive versus dead? Does the cat's fate exist independently of whether we open the box? Well, according to the many worlds interpretation, in one universe, the cat is alive. In another universe, the cat is dead. Both possibilities exist, you can only experience one. Now, here's something really cool about this. A lot of times people who deal with spirituality will talk about timelines and manifesting your highest timeline. And it sounds like a lot of woo-woo. It's actually the same concept. The idea is that there are infinite timelines, infinite parallel universes where you exist. You may have heard of the show or the book, The Man in High Castle. The premise is essentially, what if Germany won World War II? How would the world look? It was written by Philip K. Dick. Interestingly enough, he says this is not something he made up, but rather he saw that timeline in a vision. Apparently that was the source of most of his books. The movie The Adjustment Bureau came from his book, The Adjustment Team. The idea is you exist in infinite possibilities. What's fascinating is you have a physical body and a light body. Light exists as a wave of possibility. When light interacts with an observation device, it is forced into a singular state. That observation device forces a decision to be made. What's fascinating is anybody who is seasoned with meditation will tell you that you are able to kind of pull away as the observer. Pull away from the singular state that is your body. This is what's got my mind spinning right now. Is it possible that as you exist in your light body, you exist in infinite states, and pull in the state or timeline that serves you best, then collapse back into your singular state? Now that might sound like woo-woo, that might sound crazy. If you are observant enough, you will see just how closely computers are patterned after the human body, the human computer. If we can prove that it's possible for this, it's possible for you. And the craziest thing about all of this is whether you believe it's true or not, you are correct. Because you create that reality. You can be like a standard computer and fight every single day to change behavior. Or you can be like a quantum computer and realize that all those possibilities already exist and you already have it. Love you.
Immediately no. Immediately no. I'm telling you right now, I seen what I needed to see.
I turn around, look at shit. You not coming?
Hey, do you want to go for a walk? Want to go back out? No? It's cold, isn't it? I told you, didn't I?
Hey Rory, some lady on the internet says you're cold. You should probably come inside. You're not made for this cold weather. You gonna come in? Okay, you just stay there.
Tart cherries can help you sleep because they contain melatonin. Pumpkin seeds can help you sleep because they contain magnesium. Chamomile tea can help you sleep because it contains apigen. Sockeye salmon can help you sleep because it contains vitamin D and L-tryptophan. Kiwis can help you sleep because they contain serotonin. And pistachios can help you sleep because they contain potassium and melatonin.
What is this? That's in our galaxy only 700 light years from Earth. This is called R Aquarii because it's in the constellation Aquarius, and in the center is a star that's 400 times bigger than the sun, but it changes in size, brightness, and temperature. We can watch this. We have a time lapse of this. In the span of 390 days, it can get 750 times brighter, which makes it 5,000 times brighter than the sun. But it also has a companion. Orbiting the star is a white dwarf, which is a star that has died, and now it's just the core, and it's shed all of its outer layers. So basically, when this white dwarf gets close to its star, it pulls some material off of it and creates a disk of material around it. But then that gets too much, and it explodes off of it in these powerful jets. And these plasma jets are what creates these giant loops. And this is so much bigger than it looks. Like, if this was the sun, where do you think Earth would be? Wrong. These streams reach 400 billion kilometers, which is 2,500 times the distance between the sun and the Earth. And these explosions create heavy elements, which is really cool because we get to watch how the universe creates elements.
Here's some scientific facts that sound fake, but are 100% true. If you were to shoot a bullet and drop a bullet at the exact same time, both bullets would hit the ground at the exact same time. The bullet fired out of the gun and the bullet dropped next to the gun, they would hit the ground at the same time. Pterodactyls just straight up aren't dinosaurs. They're pterosaurs. You want to know what is a dinosaur? A freaking turkey. Blue whales' tongues can weigh as much as an elephant. Just their tongue. The Earth's core is about as hot as the sun, 10,800 degrees Fahrenheit. Birds don't pee. Just putting that out there. There's a type of ant that will just explode if it feels danger. You know when you hear a whale sound and it sounds like this? Yeah, that's not actually what was recorded. What was actually recorded was this. They just isolated the one whale.
Boss, wake up.
What in the fudge is actually going on? Like, what is actually going on? Because this right here appearing in the sky is not normal, it's not an everyday occurrence, and obviously the people who took the video see a huge problem with this.
What the
Fudge.
is that?
The timing though, the timing is very, very on point, very flawless. And listen to what these fellas say, very startling.
One of their officers called 911 after seeing 50 of them come off the ocean.
A police officer called 911 because 50 came off the ocean? Y'all, we need help. I really wish I could tell you guys what they're doing in the north right now. And last, but certainly not least, the clearest video that we have of these so far. Why they all look different. How about that? Why they all look different. By the way, that thing, it looks huge, y'all. And if you ask me, it's very, very unsettling that it's still a mystery, Let me know what you think below.
Men can hang around like this for hours and not even ask each other's names. I constantly see posts where women are asking about this on social media, saying, how can men hang out for so long and walk away not knowing what these guys do for a living, or whether or not they have kids, or if they're married? The answer to me is so obvious that I actually wonder what it's like for a big group of women. Because among men, a conversation about something inconsequential like sports is fun. A conversation about your life and where you are in life is work. It is stressful in the exact same way that a job interview is stressful. You are being put on the spot. You have to justify how you're living your life. There was a viral post a while ago talking about how when women get together to talk, they tend to face each other, whereas men prefer some kind of a parallel activity where they are both focusing on some third thing. And while I cannot vouch for the science behind that post at all, the idea made perfect sense to me, because this position between two men is often felt as confrontation, a challenge. And please understand that the way men do this can be extremely subtle. Like, you can see a bunch of guys standing around joking, but you can see them competing for who gets the best line. When they're telling anecdotes about some time when they badly injured themselves in the past, you'll see them competing with each other for the best injury. It won't sound like confrontation. It will just sound like comparison, but it is a competition. So the nicest thing a guy can do when meeting another guy is to keep the conversation trivial, to reassure him you're not going to have to justify your life and your career and your family situation to me. Like, you understand, this is literally why sports exists as a form of entertainment versus just something that people get together and do in the park. It gives guys something to talk about that is objectively of no consequence. It is of no threat. And before you come in and say, you are generalizing, I know lots of guys who are not like this and lots of women who are. Everybody already understands that. That's how generalization works.
After working in the emergency room for 8 years, here's the list of things you will never catch me or my family doing. Riding a motorcycle. Hard and fast, no. I don't care how many classes you've taken, how good of a motorcycle driver, how aware you are. Motorcycle versus vehicle, high-speed collision, never good. When I'm riding passenger in the front of the vehicle, putting my feet up on the dashboard. Imagine your feet are up on the dashboard, the front of the vehicle impacts. Your hips and your pelvis, disaster. Getting in to drive anywhere with a full bladder. If you have to pee before you get in your car to go anywhere, go pee. If you get in a car accident with a full bladder and you perforate your bladder, no thank you. Not have a gate around my pool. This one speaks for itself. I quite literally cannot put into words the sound a mother makes when she has lost a child from drowning. Helmets. My children will always have a helmet on. I don't care if they're riding their bike down the street, if they're rollerblading, if the other kids make fun of them, they will always have a helmet on and they will protect their noggin. And no chainsaws on ladders. This one may sound very specific. You know how men are. They think they can just climb up, cut a tree, cut some branches, trim with a chainsaw. That chainsaw can also swing and accidentally bilaterally amputate 2 legs. I've seen it. We won't be doing it.
So something you have to fundamentally understand about how God answers prayer is that he's not going to give you an answer when you are in that state of desiring what the answer is. And what I mean by that is, let's say you are lonely and you want to get married and you are like asking the Lord, who is the person that God you want me to marry? He's not going to give you the answer when you're lonely and you're just desiring only the answer. And the same goes for anything like a job or you need money or whatever it is. Because what God is waiting on is that you need to be content and desiring him first. Otherwise, you're going to get your priorities mixed up. So don't get confused and think I need to fixate my energy and effort into praying harder for the girl or for the job or the money or the resources that open doors, because your heart is still in the wrong place. And often what he will do before he gives you the actual answer is he'll put you in a stripping process. He'll put you alone somewhere where he takes away everything except being content and desiring him. And once you're in his presence and you're actually happy to be with him and he's the only thing that matters, then God will unexpectedly give you the answer that you need. So if you're in a season of desiring an answer and you're praying and you're getting on your knees, that's just the prelude and that's step 1. And I'm sorry to say, in some sense, you have a long process to go, but it's actually an incredible time for you because he's going to allow great things to happen for your future if you are walking the path that you need to be on. So if this is you, remember this. You're in a process. Figure out your heart condition before him and you will be fine.
Very true and interesting, that previous video. In other places, my friends, English people are still continuing to see big drops.
Something weird and completely unexpected happened in Scotts Valley, which is just a little north of Santa Cruz, California on December 14th, 2024. And that was a random, unexpected tornado landed literally in the middle of their town. Now, dozens of people have hurt and thank goodness nobody lost their life. But this was completely out of the blue. They weren't prepared. There was little to no warning. And the next 2 videos are of the tornado and the aftermath. Take a look at this and tell me what you think.
Tornado in Scotts Valley, bro? What the f?
Look at this one.
This one has shoved a pea up her nose. I'm going to show you a trick how to get it out, okay? So if you just hold the phone. Oh God, it's right up there. Just hold it like that. Are you ready? Right, so I've got to block this nose, so it's in this one. We're going to block that nose. Open your mouth. Ready? There we go. Got it out. You never seen that?
No.
Blow in their mouth.
Shut up.
I know we all know that Jesus is a good shepherd, but do you know what a bummer lamb is? Because I'm going to show you. This is a picture of a shepherd/farmer's bummer lamb. And I want to read you what the meaning of this is. What happens to a little lamb that is rejected by its mother? It will hang its head so low as if the lamb is beyond depressed. Every once in a while, the ewe will give birth to a lamb and reject it. There are lots of reasons why she may do this. If the shepherd tries to return the lamb, the mother might even kick the baby away. Once a mother rejects one of her lambs, she will never change her mind. These little lambs will hang their heads so low it looks like something is wrong with their little necks. Their spirits are broken. These lambs are called bummer lambs. Unless the shepherd intervenes, that little lamb will die, rejected and alone. Do you know what the shepherd usually does? The shepherd will take that rejected little lamb into their home, hand feed it, and keep it warm. They will wrap it up with blankets and hold it to their chest so the little lamb can hear their heartbeat. Once the lamb is strong enough, the shepherd will place it back in the field with the rest of the flock. That sheep never forgets the shepherd's love and care when their mother rejected them. When the shepherd calls for the flock, guess which sheep runs first? That sheep that knows the shepherd's voice. The bummer lamb isn't loved more. It just knows intimately the one who loves it. It trusts the shepherd because it has experienced love from the shepherd. Many of us are bummer lambs, rejected and broken, but Jesus is the good shepherd. He cares for our every need and holds us close to his heart so that we can hear his heartbeat. We may be broken, but we are deeply loved by the shepherd who will never leave us. I don't know about y'all, but I've often felt like a bummer lamb. And that leads me to a verse or several in John 10. But he who enters by the door is the shepherd of the sheep. To him the gatekeeper opens. The sheep hear his voice, and he calls them out, each sheep by name, and leads them out. When he has brought out all his own, he goes before them, and the sheep follow him, for they know his voice. A stranger they will not follow, but they will flee from him, for they do not know the voice of strangers. This figure of speech Jesus used with them, but they did not understand what he was saying to them. So Jesus said again to them, Truly, truly, I say to you, I am the door of the sheep. All who come before me are thieves and robbers, but the sheep did not listen to them. I am the door, and if anyone enters by me, he will be saved and will go out and find pasture. The thief comes only to steal, kill, and destroy. I came that they may have life and have it abundantly. I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd lays down his life for his sheep. He who is a hired hand and not a shepherd, who does not own the sheep, sees the wolf coming and leaves the sheep and flees. And the wolf snatches them and scatters them. He flees because he is a hired hand and cares nothing for the sheep. I am the good shepherd. I know my own, and they know me. Just as the Father knows me, and I know the Father, and I lay my life down for the sheep. And I have other sheep that are not of this fold. I must bring them also, and they will listen to my voice, so that there will be one flock and one shepherd. He's the good shepherd. Not only is that telling you how much he loves you and how intimately he knows you, but at the end there it's talking about, I have sheep of other pastures. He was telling them then that it would no longer just be the Jews who were considered clean, because back then Gentiles who didn't observe the law were considered unclean. They weren't even allowed inside of the temple, just in the outer courts. And so he's saying, I have sheep that are not of this fold, I will bring them also. It was him foreshadowing the fact that he was also a light to the Gentiles. And what an honor to follow that good shepherd, especially as a bummer lamb. I hope this hit you in the place it hit me, because it makes you realize that when he leaves the 99 to get the one, I think a lot of times it's probably a rebel lamb or a bummer lamb or a wayward lamb, but we've all been that one at one point. And if you were the bummer lamb, then I hope this hit your heart in a way that made you feel loved and seen by the Good Shepherd today.
Have you heard about what this former soldier had to say about the drones? Take a listen.
I was in the Army, active duty. I worked on drones. I was a maintenance NCO for some surveillance drones. And before that, I worked on the Apache, the Kiowa. I know aviation. So what people are not noticing is that you have two separate types of drones and two separate types of things in the air right now. First off, the drones that you see with flight lights or anti-collision lights or the things that the FAA requires, those are drones that are probably operated by the United States government. Now, the orbs that you've been seeing on the internet, that is the reason why all those drones are up there. And that is also why the government isn't telling you what's going on. And that's because the drones that you see that look like regular aircraft, those drones are up there to get some information on the actual orbs, which are actually the UFOs.
The math is mathing, you guys.
I know you have a minute for God, and I'm going to take this God's Promises book, literally just going to flip through it and read you a verse.
Mark 11, verse 24. Therefore I say to you, whatever things you ask when you pray, believe that you receive them and you will have them. And what's important to note about this is that anything that you pray for, if it goes in alignment with the Lord's will, you can guarantee that He will make it happen if it is God's will. I will tell you, I want you to understand this, that when you pray a prayer, God answers every prayer, but sometimes He does not give you the answer that you want. And that's so hard to hear in a time where you're really struggling and you feel like you want these things because it's your own desire and your own understanding, and you think that, maybe this is what God has for me, and you pray it over and over again, and He doesn't let it pass. One of two things is happening. The Lord just doesn't have that for you, that person for you, or that job for you, or that opportunity, or that big thing that you want to happen in your life. Sometimes it just isn't for you. And on the contrary, in other ways, God is making us wait. And I think we struggle with that. We struggle with the fact of we have to be patient in life, and that not everything that we come to God for in prayer is to be given to us, because God always has better. Regardless of what we think that we want, God always has better. And everything that is not good, everything that is, draining us and destroying us and taking our joy, we know that God uses all things for His good. Glory to God. And as those birds just zoom by this car that I'm sitting in, I just want to remind you that there is peace when you give it all to Jesus. When you give everything to Jesus. And that's the name of this chapter. Believe that you'll receive it, right? If it is according to God's will. The Bible says, ask and you'll receive, seek and you will find, knock and the door will be open to you. But always remember and keep in mind to put God first. I always say this. This is what Jesus said Himself. Matthew 6, verse 33, seek first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and everything else will be given to you. You got to want His will. You got to want His way. And I promise you it's better than what you think you want. Even if He's not giving you what you think you want, He is always, always, always going to give you something better. Forever. Have a great day.
Hey, Gary, what's the importance of the belly button and the umbilical cord?
Oh, so when you're a baby and you're growing in the womb, you don't have a neocortex till the 9th month. So basically everything you feel and the feeling comes from your mother. And so the emotions are your mother's emotions. That's what we're usually processing as we get older. And through the belly button, every nerve ending, every vein in the body goes through there. So, and it's still there. It didn't sound like it changed, but that was where all your nutrients, your life came from. So the belly button torque, the personal one, where you put your hand here like this, and it's on our lower reset. You put the back here, and you twist and you breathe and move around. That's a personal one. But if you do the belly button trauma release with an individual, like a partner, it is crazy what will happen. You'll have quite often the most emotional releases you can ever have. It's one of the best trauma release tools that you can use.
Well, that's new, my friends. And take a look at this threading technique here. Wow, quite interesting. Did you know about this one, my friends? Oh, you just need...
The drones flew over my house a couple days ago, and now look what's happening.
Crazy stuff, my friend. These drone things we've been hearing and seeing about in different episodes. What do you think they could be? You see? As you leave your comments about them, my friend, let me also read something from you here. From the Book of Wisdom. From the Book of Wisdom. This is what it tells us. Actually, it's a very interesting place.